Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Today, my topic is Indo-Nepal relationship. So when I say Indo-Nepal relationship, I am not going to restrict myself to the land dispute that we are having currently with them, but I'm going to talk right from 1950s, where the relationship started with Nepal. Let's get right into the show. The Indo-Nepal story actually is very interesting and very ironical, and I will tell you why. You see, in 1950s, the Rana dynasty tied a special relationship treaty with India. The treaty was called the Peace and Friendship Treaty. This was signed somewhere in 1950s, and you know why they signed it? The reason why they signed it. The reason they signed it is because Rana dynasty thought that China will occupy Nepal and throw him out. So to safeguard Nepal and his own chair, his own throne from China, he signed this treaty with India. So the reason India and Nepal came so closer, apart from other factors of marriage and all of that, but officially, the reason why Nepal and India came so close is because of China. 1950s. Now, the relationship, some say, was one-sided. Why? Because according to the relationship, according to the treaty, Indians and Nepalis, they could go freely across borders without any visa, without any passport, anything. They could cross the borders, they could work in each other's land, but Indians could not take up any property in Nepal, nor could work in any government jobs in Nepal, whereas a lot of jobs, government jobs, were open for Nepalis. People from Nepal citizen could come and work in India, even in government jobs. Some of them, some IAS, IFS and IPS and all, those jobs were not permissible, and some states also did not permit, but more or less, most of the states in India allowed it. So that's how the beginning of the relationship was. From there started Indo-Nepal relationship. A lot of people, like I said, always thought that this relationship was one-sided. But then as things progressed, from 1950s to 1960s, things started deteriorating. Things started deteriorating because more Indians went and settled in Nepal. Citizenship was easier those days. So more and more Indians went and settled in Nepal, and India started having a say in Nepal's internal politics. So what really happened at that point in time is people of Nepal and also the ruling dispensation was not very comfortable with this particular happening. So the relationship slowly started deteriorating. Now in 1960, the royal family of Nepal started slowly going towards China. They realized that they thought rather, that India was interfering in Nepal a lot, so they slowly started moving towards China. They started overtures with China, and China started making use of these overtures and started reciprocating to the royal family of Nepal. This was the start of the rift. This is 1960s. Now there is one more thing that happened in 1960s. You see, in 1960s, Nepal started going closer to the United States of America. And as a result, they recognized Israel. India still had to recognize Israel. So without consent from India, or without even consulting India, they went and recognized Israel. This is in 1960s. In 1969, the royal family was very upset with the security checkpost of India. They said certain strategic location, they didn't want the security checkpost. And this issue started growing larger. They aired it to India, and the relationship again started deteriorating. All this while, the background mein you always had a China. So mind you, we started this relationship because they wanted to get away from China, and here, decade after decade, Nepal seems to be growing a little closer to China every decade. Okay. In 1975, another big issue happened with Nepal. In 1975, Sikkim Kingdom, the Kingdom of Sikkim, merged with India. Nepal was very upset with that. Nepal openly said that this is annexation, this is not merging. So Nepal was very vocal about that. Indian says we didn't like it. So mind you, every decade there was one thing after another happening between India and Nepal. The point that I am trying to make is all this talk about Nepal having a land dispute with us now is nothing new. And like I told you about China, I am still maintaining about Nepal. I don't think the technical problem is with the land. The problem lies elsewhere, which we will try and figure out. Okay, we are in 1975. Now let's go to 1988. You see, like I said before, India has always been cajoling Nepal. So when they said that, like I told you, in 1969, when they said that the security checkpost, you should remove it, India removed the checkpost. India accommodated Nepal, compromised with Nepal. Every time we allowed them to do what they wanted, to a certain extent. But in 1988, India didn't. Nepal wanted to have a zone of peace status. India refused to back Nepal on that. Nepal was very upset. And that same year, we were supposed to renew 2 of our trade treaties. Nepal refused to renew those treaties. They made a lot of changes in those. This is 1988. Every year, every decade, almost every decade, we continue to have problems with Nepal. Now let's go to 1991. In 1991, the then Prime Minister Manmohan Adhikare visited India. When Manmohan Adhikare visited India, we Indians thought that, it was to renew our ties, it was to strengthen our relationship and all of that, but that is not what happened. Manmohan Adhikare came here in India in 1995 and said, Dekho, you know what, that 1950 that treaty that we had signed? He said, we have to relook at it. वो दिन और थे, ये दिन और है. I am not going to go by those treaties. I need to relook at that treaty, which again was not taken very well in India. Adhikare wanted lot more economic independence. He wanted to be free. He said, listen, you know what, all these relationships, it's actually claustrophobic for us. It's squeezing us. So he said, I want to let myself free, so I want more economic independence. Predominantly what we were saying is they want to move away. So this was in 1995. Now let's go further. In 2008, another big incident happened. The then Prime Minister Prachanda, after he being sworn in as Prime Minister, went to China and then came to India, which was absolutely breaking the tradition, because normally any elected Prime Minister of Nepal would first come to India and then go to China or wherever. But he broke the tradition, and a lot of experts say this was a deliberate message sent to India. Now, there was a small change. From 2008 to 2010, both these countries actually enjoyed a fairly decent relationship. Why decent relationship? I will tell you. In fact, in this 2008 visit of his, Prachanda made a statement. He said, I'm going back to Nepal as a satisfied person. This particular meeting, the Indian diplomatic team managed to satisfy and managed to give a lot of confidence to the visiting Nepali Prime Minister. Though I told you, he had gone to China first, even then. So he walked out happy, and like he said, the relationship improved a wee bit. In 2008 itself, India resumed water talks with Nepal after 4 years of gap. So that was a fantastic boost. 2010, India extended a credit line of 50 million US dollars and 80,000 tons of grains to Nepal. So all this boosted the relationship. The relationship was at its best. So this was between 2008 to 2010. Come 2014, 2015, the government of India was a little more aggressive than the previous governments. So Nepal almost missed the kind of cajoling and the kid gloves that they were treated with. So right after the abrogation of Article 370, and when we released the new map, then started the land dispute. Not started really, it came to light, the land dispute of Kalapani, Limpi Edura and Limpu Lake. So that happened recently. I am sure you are aware of it and a lot has been said about that. The point that I wanted to make through this editorial is, it is very ironical that this entire relationship, like I said before, entire relationship started because of China. Because Nepal wanted to safeguard themselves from China, they came and they tied up with India. And the entire relationship is now drifting apart again because of China. This is a very interesting part. The second part is, a lot of geopolitical experts are divided in this. We have been treating Nepal like a kid brother. We have been actually compromising and giving them what they wanted. We have been the guys who have always agreed to whatever their demand was, and we gave it to them. A lot of people say, is it right? And the new version of 56 inch and all of that, aggression and all that, people say, is this the way you should have treated Nepal? Why are we treating Nepal like that? Why do we give them everything that they ask for? Every time they ask for something, we gave it to them. Aisa thodi hota relationship. There is another bunch of people who say, you see, Nepal is strategically very, very important to us, especially when it comes to China. Nepal was our ally. More than that, we do almost 8 billion US dollars worth of trade with Nepal. 8 billion. So the question now, and the reason I did this editorial, like I said, is aggression, is pride, is eye for an eye the solution for all problems that happens around us? Or is diplomacy also about forgetting and forgiving? Is diplomacy also about compromising? Is diplomacy also about saying, for a larger good, I don't mind handling this smaller problem? This is the question that I wanted to ask you tonight. Think about it. Write down your comments. I'll be waiting to see it. Namaskar.